702.
Health and wellness.
It's 24 minutes before 12 o'clock. We start with our health and wellness feature. And today we are talking about wellness trends for 2026. I want to start this discussion by telling you about something that has been happening this entire week. So I asked Amo to stay here because what is one thing all of us experienced since Monday? Since Monday was yesterday, ne?
Yeah, since
yesterday with Bongani.
His ring, a rose gold ring.
So
that
he's got
was
a
on his
new
left finger.
ring, and he's been telling everybody about it. What is it?
It's a fitness ring. Regulates your sleep, your steps, basically. Just what a fitness device does.
Yeah, and I thought we're gonna start it there because it's a new year, and a lot of people have these fitness trends. And Bongani has a ring on his finger, and he's been telling everybody about it. I mean, yesterday I was with Abel in the studio. He just walked in and he was waving this ring at us. So I'm talking about that regarding Bongani's ring because that is part of the wellness trends that we are seeing, right? And I want us to talk about which trends actually improve our health and which ones are simply just well-marketed ideas. Obviously, we know that wellness has become a billion-rand industry. I mean, how you eat, it shapes how you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and even how we think about health. Whether it's supplements, whether it's superfoods, whether it's these fitness apps, these wearable technology like Bongani's ring, the mental health tools, they're everywhere. But staying well isn't about luxury retreats or expensive product. It's about sustainable habits. It's about mental resilience, practical choices. So what are your wellness plans for 2026? What are some of your wellness trends that you have noticed that actually interest you? I'd like you to call us on 011-883-0702 or send a WhatsApp on 072-702-1702. Sandor Dowling is the founder of the World of Wellness, who's going to guide us through this conversation. Sandor, thank you so much for making time. Good morning.
Good morning, team. How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, so many people are excited about some wellness trends for 2026. Let's start maybe by looking at what wellness actually means in 2026 compared with, let's say, like 5 years ago.
Yes, for sure. So I think in the past, we were trying to always fix. How can I get to the gym? How can I have a diet plan? All of those things that we were trying to fix rather than learning about sustainability and staying resilient and living longer and feeling good and keeping that balance in terms of our humanity and our wellness. So for 2026, it's definitely the capacity to build and to function better, to recover better, quicker, to live longer with a balanced and integrative lifestyle and wellness lifestyle.
And of course, the idea of, let's take brain wealth, for instance, that is something new for many people. How is this different from just looking after your mental health?
I think it also depends on the type of questions that we get asked. Everybody says, are you okay? Are you coping? Are you stressed? It's like when your kid gets home from school and you say, how was your day? They can say, fine. So it all depends on how those questions are asked and how deep they go into talking and being real and being honest about how they are feeling. So rather questions like, how well does your brain perform under pressure? What can help you focus better, make better decisions, regulate your emotions when making these decisions under stressful circumstances? Do you have the cognitive energy to make healthy brain decisions rather than aggressive or not paying attention to those triggers? So, your attention span, your emotional regulation, your sleep quality, your stress recovery, and that type of thing is really important. And obviously having someone to talk to about that in a more professional way rather than the short-sighted, are you coping, are you okay, are you stressed?
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of the body-focused aspect of wellness, like your somatic wellness, the nervous system regulation. A lot of people are practicing breath work, cold exposure, grounding, you name it. And many of these are trending. Why is the body-focused aspect getting so much attention?
It's funny you say they're trending because they've actually always been there. If you look back in history, the cold baths or the showers or, working on that nervous system and regulation of the body. It's just become obviously a little bit more marketed or advertised. But what's important about those types of nervous system regulations is calming that nervous system down, improving your stress tolerance, going back to the brain health, reducing inflammation and fatigue, restoring your sense of control, your safety. So all of those things, breath work, cold exposure. A lot of people say be grounded. They don't mean that in the literal sense. Literally take off the shoes, get barefoot, walk on the grass on the sand.
How many of us actually walk on the grass? Like when was the last time you were on soil, on grass, with barefoot?
Agreed. But however, South Africans are blessed in the way that we have the environment and the weather conditions that we do. Some people in the world, like in New York or whatever, it's a concrete jungle. They don't ever get that opportunity to feel the sand or the grass or the earth under their bare feet. So we should take the opportunity to really enjoy our luxuries that we do have to us.
Digital life is of course a constant for many of us. Why are people choosing digital minimalism? You've got these retro analog habits or screen-free spaces for well-being. How beneficial are those?
So ultimately, everything has its place and a time of where it can be used. And it's about our boundaries and about our balance and understanding where the triggers are and when it's good for us and when it's not. So I would never knock the digital world because it is where the world is going. But being able to say, it's dinner time, it's time to get away from the screen, or it's, getting ready for bed. We've got to put those boundaries in place and put away the screens and not get too overwhelmed by the digital marketing. And then get back to the basics, the paper, the book, the talking, the conversations, the journaling. These are the ways that do help our cognitive brain as well, and that stress relief rather than that constant bombardment of digital marketing.
011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. We're talking about wellness trends for 2026. In fact, these are trends that have already started in the previous years. Which ones actually do improve our health and which ones are simply just well-marketed ideas? Maybe you've got some for you that have actually worked for you, some that maybe you're considering, but you've got some questions about. Why don't you let us know about them? Call us or send us a WhatsApp voice note. It's 15 minutes now before 12.
702. Health and wellness.
On our health and wellness feature this morning, we are talking about wellness trends. What are some of the wellness trends that have piqued your interest that you want to check out? Sandor Dowling is the founder of the World of Wellness, who's guiding us through this conversation. I want to talk a bit about travel now, Sandor, because that is often sort of marketed as wellness. How are concepts like slocations and I've heard of location as well. How are they different from different, traditional holiday trends?
Yeah, so, again, the digital marketing plays this picture risk idea of what a holiday should be and where you should be going and what you should be doing. And it's not always as true as it looks. One needs to minimize the packed itineraries and the constant stimulation and try and get fewer activities. One place, a deeper resting place that you can be with people that you love, that uplift you and give you energy rather than chasing the meet with keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. Our idea of what travel is. So slowing it down. On the locations, yes, that is also quite a trend. Traveling designed around your sleep, your movement, your light exposure, your rhythm, your yoga, so that when you're done with this location, you're feeling better, healthier, stronger, and you can return restored, rather than coming back exhausted and overstimulated.
I'm a big fan of wellness retreats. For many South Africans, of course, wellness isn't just about expensive retreats, it's about daily life. So how do these trends translate into everyday affordable choices?
Again, as I said earlier, I feel that us as South Africans have the weather and the environment and the landscape at our disposal. So one should take advantage of that, and doing those nature walks, hikes, community sports, group exercises or activities, even keeping it even more local at home, cooking with friends and family, remembering to have your early mornings. The sun and the moon is part of your when to wake up, when to go to sleep, and getting back to basics. Even church activities, stokvels, social clubs, these are all ways that you can keep your wellness in a South African way, low cost but high impact in terms of your wellness.
I love that you're mentioning social clubs, because there is a strong social component in these wellness trends. Like there are group activities, there's communal experiences. So that social aspect is becoming more and more important for wellness.
Absolutely. And not just in South Africa, globally, the park runs, nowadays we can get online and do a global cycle, a global yoga session. So yes, these social groups and activities are a very good way for us to stay connected, but on a similar wellness platform. Walking clubs, faith-based cultural gatherings, all of these are great ways to have that social aspect on a wellness level.
Yeah. How do you separate evidence-based practices from the hype or marketing when so much wellness advice exists online? I mean, there are a lot of people on social media now who have become, the wellness experts who will tell you of what to do, what to engage in. So how do you separate what's evidence-based practices from just hype and marketing and influencing?
Yeah, and that is a danger. And we are all prone to listening to everything that comes our way, and then you feel confused about which way you should turn. But true wellness requires fewer things, not more. It's boringly consistent. It's often free or simple. You would feel it immediately that it is making a difference. You're not feeling forced or that it's a status thing, or it's a product-heavy thing, or it's exclusive. It should be easily accessible and make you feel better at the end of the day, not more stressed.
Yeah, be very careful of what you're picking up out there. And then what about like looking up to the year 2026? What do you think is sort of the underlying shift in how people see their health in 2026? Where do you think we're heading?
Similar to what I said in the beginning, that resilience, sustainability. I mean, we're talking sustainability even in our electricity and our water and all of those things. So similarly, we need to do that with our wellness and our well-being and our human nature. So, less about becoming better and more about staying human and true to who we are, and having that balance and resilience at the end of the day, I would say.
Do you think that we've taken wellness quite seriously? In fact, let me ask it differently. Governments, in particular, are you seeing a shift? Because you could argue there's a lot of shift, of course, among individual communities. We see what's happening also globally and how it's influencing us. But do you find that there's a lot of shift within government as well in terms of the policies that they come up with, et cetera, et cetera?
I'm not an expert in that, but I hope that the consumer or the person at the end of the day is aware of what they're reading and seeing. I often actually am in the shops and I see people reading at the back of the labels and so on. So I do hope that has been implemented. But if you stay true to your beliefs and the way you feel and back to basics, I think you can't go wrong. So, the language detox, one size fits all fear-based messaging, influencer first and then evidence and trends later, those are all things we need to be wary of, because that's not how it should be. It should be, does this product or this activity improve my sleep, my energy, my recovery, my mental well-being, my physical well-being? Do I feel rested? Do I feel balanced? Do I feel true to myself? And then that hopefully would be a way for you to know if it's real or not.
Jane is asking here on Twitter, says, "Hi, Clement. I worry a lot that when we talk about wellness, we focus a lot on the apps and on some of the items that you purchase. And I think there's a risk that wellness trends are just another form of consumerism, especially when they involve expensive products or travel. Please, can you ask your guest about that?" Sandor, and of course, you can reflect on that. You did mention earlier on that it doesn't have to be about these apps and gadgets. I mean, we live in this country, blessed with the weather we have, blessed with, the kind of elements we have. Why don't you just take off your shoes, like be on grass, be on the ground, sit under a tree? How do you respond to someone who says for them, they worry that wellness is becoming more and more about those expensive products and the travel, and we're missing the point about what you exactly said earlier on about the easy things you can do here and now?
The problem is that we are reading and seeing and being influenced on a daily basis with our phones and digital marketing. So we constantly lose focus of the simplicity of how wellness should be. And we think that we need to do what everybody else is doing. And then, yes, we become part of that consumerism and think that we need the next product, tablets, gym equipment or whatever to make us feel better about ourselves. But we often just need to remind ourselves to go back to those basics. We don't need all of these things. The fewer things that we have and the simpler it is, possibly is the better way to stay healthy and balanced. It shouldn't be about performance driven or how many products you could buy or how heavy weights you can pick up or whatever. It's about that sustainability and resilience.
Sandor, thank you so much for making time for us. I really appreciate it. Sandor Dowling is the founder of the World of Wellness. And as you've heard, just do the simple things. We take for granted the opportunities that we have. Take off your shoes, just go around, be in the grass, feel the soil, go hug a tree. Weren't we making fun of, was it DJ Sue? Weren't we making fun of DJ Sue when he was busy hugging trees? That's exactly what he was telling you to do. That is part of wellness. You don't have to think about it in, you don't have to go to like a wellness retreat overseas. Of course, if you can afford that and that is what you want, you can do that. But that doesn't have to be the only option available to you. You don't have to get a ring like only a ring like bongs, that sort of measures your steps. Of course, you can get that if you can, or as an addition. But there are other simple, easy things that are available for us. And I hope what Sandor has said has encouraged you to really just think out of the box and know that it's not just the expensive gadgets and the expensive travel experiences, but it's also things you can do on a day-to-day that could improve your well-being. It's 30 minutes before 12.